if you're watching this, you're probably feeling like your dating life is stuck. You've probably been putting in all the effort. You've probably been going out consistently. You've been doing dating apps. You've been building your social circle out. But no matter what you try, you feel like your dating life is staying stagnant and stuck. I've been doing this now for 15 years, and I've probably felt the same way dozens of times. And so when you're putting in all this effort and you're not making any progress, it can be soul crushing. Well, if this is you, this is your wake up call. In this video, we're gonna work on building an actionable dating plan. Something simple and powerful. And we're gonna do this by journaling. Yeah, I said journaling, but not some fluffy nonsense bullshit, but a cold, calculated system to audit your dating life. This isn't about quick fixes or pickup lines. It's about turning your dating life into a consistent, effective machine that gets results. I'm gonna give you guys 4 different steps, 4 different journaling exercises that I've used personally to move my life up. Firstly, we're gonna figure out where you are. Then we're gonna figure out where you have to go. Then we're gonna design a plan to get there. In terms of getting results, this is the most important video I've ever put out. Journal number 1, your 1.0 version. Think of it this way. You're on the first level of a video game. You're not here to feel guilty. You're not here to beat yourself up. We're here to learn. None of this is your fault. This is just cold, hard data. If you're carrying past baggage or you have limiting beliefs or blind spots, we need to fix those. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter how many women you approach in field if your mindset isn't right. Now, most guys skip this step. They jump straight into tactics. They start studying pickup lines or approach angles. But without knowing your starting point, you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall. This audits your strengths, your weaknesses, and why you're stuck. Why you have plateaus. Where are your linchpins? What is preventing you from improving? Like maybe your 1.0 version clings to validation from women, unlike maybe your future version who gives without needing anything in return. Now, this part I was thinking about leaving out of the script, but I had a mentor who used to lock himself in the bathroom for 2 days. He'd bring in food, bring in water, and he'd try to figure this out himself. He would sit down, try and build out who are my friends? Who are the people that I'm most connected to? Do these people feed me? How am I wasting my time? What are mindsets that are preventing me from taking action that'll get me the outcomes that I want? So how do we do this? Now, you don't have to be as serious as my mentor was, though it would be beneficial. Instead, on and off for a couple of days, think this through. In one sitting, you're not going to be able to come up with everything that's going wrong in your life. It's not going to be that easy. But if you keep an open mind and you write it on your phone, you have an open journal at home, and you're constantly adding to this, in a couple of days' time, you'll have a pretty good idea of where you're at. So we're gonna do a little mind mapping here. I don't want you to have fluff and I don't want you to have excuses. Now start with these key questions. Where are you now with women? Be specific. How many dates have you been on in the last month, in the last year? Do you even approach, or do you just scroll apps? Or do you not even do that? Do you have a funnel for meeting women at all? And if you do, how effective is it? Now by a funnel, I mean dating apps, social circle, cold approach pickup, maybe your job. What is your funnel? How are you getting women into the system? And if you don't have a funnel, that is something to think about. Now, in this funnel, where are you losing girls? Is it off the opener? Is it that you're not opening? Is it that it might be somewhere in the mid-interaction? Is it when you get the girl's phone number, she doesn't text you back? Maybe you get on a date with a girl and she doesn't end up liking you? Where are you getting stopped? What is preventing the women from going down the funnel to go home with you or to even date you? Now, dig into why you're doing this. This why is going to help you push through. This takes a lot of emotional energy to push out of where you are currently. There's a reason why not everybody's doing this, and it's because it's actually pretty fucking difficult. You have to have an emotional why. You have to have a reason that pushes and drives you forward. Now, here was mine personally. I was very afraid of who I'd be in 10 years. I was like, if I don't take the actions that are necessary now, I might be stuck exactly where I am in 10 years from now. And I just couldn't handle that. I knew that if I took the action, the track and the route that I went versus not taking action would be completely different. My life would be so much fucking better. So I made myself do it, even though it sucked in the moment, even though it was painful. I made myself do it. What happens if you don't do this? Where will you be in 2 years? Where will you be in 5 years? Where will you be in 10? Now, where will you be in 2 years if you do this? 5? 10, where will you be? Single, bitter, alone, having no friends, having no self-confidence? Then check on your weaknesses. Do you have bad dating patterns? By dating patterns, I mean Do you date a girl and they always fall apart at the same time or for the same reasons? Do you have mindset blocks, bad habits, bad mindsets? Maybe when you're approaching a girl, you're worrying way too much about what she thinks of you instead of caring about her. What about your style, your grooming, your fitness? Are you emotionally resilient? What do I do to kill attraction? And if an interaction goes well, at what point does it stop going well? This might reveal over-complimenting, not being playful enough, not being loose enough, coming across with a weird tone or energy. And also identify the thoughts and the mindsets that are preventing you from taking the action you know that if you took, you would improve with women. There are mindsets and beliefs that are preventing you from taking action. And then there's mindsets and beliefs that you replace them with that can drive you towards the actions you need to take. Next, I want you guys to seek external feedback. Now, ask some people that you trust, ask some family members, some friends, and ask them what you can do to improve. I did this by sending out emails to my friends because at the time I was watching this life coach who mentioned sending out emails. He said, send 10 emails to your closest friends and ask them for advice. And so I did that. Remember, this is just data, not judgment. Now, if you brought a notebook or journal, stop the video now, pause it, and jot this down. Work on this right now, and then we'll build from here. Journal number 2, your 2.0 version. As somebody who's coached for a very long time, I can't tell you how important and how valuable it is to figure out your 2.0 version. A lot of you guys are muddling around in this mess and you guys don't know where to go. You guys think that if you just put in enough effort, that you're going to eventually get there. But there's going to be a certain place in this and a certain part of this where at some point, effort is not going to get you to the next level. You have to come up with a creative, effective plan. You have to figure out, where am I going? Like, who do I want to be? You can't stay this version of you if you want different results, especially when it comes to dating. I've talked about this exercise quite a bit because it's very valuable. We're trying to find that future version of you that gets the results in life and in dating that you want. So who's that person? Who's that model of an individual that gets those results? How are his mindsets different than yours? How are your mindsets different than his? And the same thing with habits, belief systems, things he might have in his life. I want you to ground it in real role models. Maybe it's a YouTuber, maybe it's a celebrity. I chose a lot of different celebrities that I love and I think are very charismatic. I even have friends who are hilariously charismatic and I'm learning off them all the time and I use them as a model for myself. And now I want you to develop this person to such an extent that you can visualize them in vivid detail. Now, I've noticed this in a lot of my clients that if they don't have a clear target or direction they're supposed to go with themselves or with dating, it's very tough to muddle around blindly trying to find the target. But if you can make a clear target, it's a lot easier to take actions in the direction of who that person is you want to be, because you know what he would do, because you've designed him in your head to such detail that you can visualize him at any point. You can be like, hey, he want to do that. Hey, he want to think like this. Hey, I didn't do this. What were the mindsets that I had that he wouldn't have? What are the mindsets that he would have that would replace the bad mindsets that stopped me from taking action or that stopped me from attracting a girl? Now, I want you to build this like an engineer, systematic and iterative. I want you to dedicate a week or two to this journal prompt. I want you to start broad and then I want you to drill down. Firstly, what do you want dating wise? And then who has it? Maybe consistent dates, girlfriends, maybe a lot of options in women. Maybe women are really attracted to him naturally without him trying. Habits, mindsets, beliefs, and skills. How do they move, speak, and act differently than you? Now, I want you to write a 1 or 2 page character bio of this person. I want you to cover mindsets and core beliefs. Your 2.0 assumes abundance. He has plenty of options. Sees rejection as data, not failure. Views women as equals and is looking for a connection. For example, he believes that he is the prize, but he's not arrogant about it. However, I will not lie, arrogance for some of you guys might be the trick. What are his traits and his vibe? Charismatic, playful, grounded. Is he comfortable with tension? Social and dating skills. He might be somebody who has a really good verbal IQ, a social IQ. Here's the trick to using the 2.0 version. You're going to go through your day. You're going to reminisce. You're going to journal about it. You're going to think to yourself, okay, so this is what I did. How would your 2.0 do these things differently? How would he have, maybe you walked a route back home that didn't have people on it and you took the longer route because you didn't want to walk through crowds. Well, maybe your 2.0 version wouldn't give a fuck about walking through a crowd, being in public. So instead you take the most direct route to your place. Instead of you working at home, maybe you decide to work at a cafe because you're an extroverted person who is not intimidated by other people being around him. How relaxed is he when he goes to go talk to girls? Is he as relaxed as he is at home by himself? Or does he feel like you? Maybe in terms of going out and talking to girls, he's very relaxed as if he were at home by himself. Maybe you go to the coffee shop and you felt a little nervous, a little anxious. Maybe you can hold eye contact. How would he go through that? How would he act differently than you? Now, I want you to remember this. This is a game of you versus you. This is not meant to compare yourself to other people. This is about consistent change over time. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how bite-sized it is. It's about changing who you are month to month. If you're changing 1% month to month, that's awesome. That's great. This is all about consistency. Now, if you change 1% in 1 month, you might change 2% the next month, maybe 5%, maybe 10%, because you're building momentum. You're looking to improve weekly, monthly, and yearly. What does it matter where somebody else is by comparison? Their journey is different than yours, and you guys might end up in completely different places. Pro tip for this, if you really want to ingrain this 2.0 version, have mock conversations with yourself in the mirror and record it and go over it. How would the 2.0 version of you speak differently than you? How would he carry the conversation differently than you? Let's bridge the gap between your 1.0 version and your 2.0 version. Step number 3, bridge the gap. Okay, now you have your 1.0 and your 2.0 version done. Now we need to connect them. List the differences between him and you and reverse engineer it. Now, when it comes to journaling, I want you guys to do this daily. Even if you're not going out and approaching girls, I want you to sit down. What did I do good? What could I have done better? What did I do good? I gave some people eye contact today when they passed me by. What could I have done better? I could have maybe made a joke to the Starbucks cashier when I grabbed my coffee. Or I could have asked her a question and got to know her. Maybe I could have asked somebody a question when I needed an answer. Maybe somebody was in my way and I didn't want to speak up. I want you guys to get in the habit of journaling every day. Make this consistent. Now, here's the thing about journaling as well. I don't need you guys to do a lot at first. You guys don't need to do these long, elaborate journals. If for you, that is a lot and that's a lot of load and that's something that you don't think you can do, instead, maybe you can bite-size it more until you can do it consistently. So maybe you start off with just writing down one thing you could have improved. Maybe you could just be like, I didn't have good eye contact. I just write down eye contact. That's the thing you need to improve. Just write down eye contact by itself, nothing else. The biggest thing is that you're putting pen to paper every day and you're building the habit. I just want you guys to move in the direction of doing a little bit more than you were doing before. So what does that mean? You were never journaling before. You never done it before. You never written a field report. Give yourself something that's doable that you can do consistently every day so we can build a habit. And every time you do the journal, I want you to celebrate it. I start off all my journals. Let me see if it's around here. Here, I'll put up a picture right now, show you guys an example of my journal. I put at the very top in the good section, journaled with an exclamation point. Now, the reason I do this is because I want to close the habit loop. And to close a habit loop, what you have to do is you have to reward yourself for taking action. And if you reward yourself consistently, it helps enact a habit in your life that could be beneficial. Now, the reason I want you guys to be consistent is because this builds confidence. The worst thing you can do is doing the same thing that you've always done. This further embodies that you can't change your life. This further embodies that nothing is going to change, and this is not going to be the thing that pushes you forward. All I need from you, for those guys who've never done this before, just write down one word for something you could have improved today. Like write down one sentence, one word every day on something you could have improved. Now, over time, you'll find that you'll start wanting to write more and more. Maybe writing down one thing is pretty easy, so then you write down 2 things. Maybe you find that 2 things is too easy, write down 3. And then you start expanding over time. It starts becoming easier and easier and easier to write these elaborate long journals where you're thinking creatively every day about all these different ways that you can improve, and also developing better skills and creative thinking abilities to find solutions to your everyday problems, not just in dating. Now, when it comes to certain goals, I want you guys to prioritize that which is going to get you the most amount of progress in the shortest period of time at first. As you get better at this, maybe you want to prioritize something smaller, maybe something like really menial that you can handle. But in those first steps, you want to focus on something that's going to get you a lot of progress. Something that's an example of getting you a lot of progress: going out to social venues consistently, approaching at those venues consistently, working on skills that women find attractive, developing things in your life that will make you more confident, adding new venues of meeting women into your life, dating apps, social circle, working on your Instagram. I want you guys focusing on fundamental thinking before you guys start focusing on the small menial stuff. Something that's going to fix a lot of the things. Like if you're approaching 15 times a day, you're going to get more options in women. You're going to get more practice. You're going to socialize a lot faster, and you'll have more reference experience for your journals to learn from. So when you guys set a goal, for example, maybe going out and approaching women, I want you guys to set like a bare minimum, something that's better than what you've done before. And I want you to set a maximum, and I want you to set that middle thing, something in the middle that you're going to shoot for at the designated time every week. Then I want you to set a middle thing. Now the thing in the middle is what you're going to shoot for. So maybe you have a lot of approach anxiety and you're afraid to go to the venues. Well, maybe that middle thing is you going to the venues. Maybe that minimum thing where you find yourself having all this, you're so tired, you're so drained, you're so scared, and you feel low in confidence, you're in that lower level of self. Maybe then you decide like, hey, instead, like I can't go to the club. I can't make myself. Can I maybe drive to and back from the club? Can I walk into the club? Can I not do that? Can I stand in front of the mirror and visualize approaching people for 15 minutes? Something that is different than what you did before. There are also times where you want to expand the habit. Maybe you go there and you're feeling really in it and you're like, I know I didn't say it, but I feel like giving a girl a compliment. And so that could maybe be your higher tier. And maybe like you give the girl a compliment and you're like, I feel so confident. I'm going to go and approach a girl direct. You're going to have those days where you feel like the habit is super fucking easy, especially as you keep doing it consistently. Then you can expand the habit. However, if you do find that you can't do the middle tier, I want you to shrink the habit to keep the streak. So instead, again, to keep the streak, practice at home. At the very least, do something. The worst thing you can do is the same thing you've always done. Step 4, implement and iterate. Now, when it comes to building these habits, there's a lot of things to say. There's a 2-month, a 3-month time period where you're going to learn it. Generally speaking, it takes 66 days to learn a habit. And as you keep going down this path, you're going to find it gets easier and easier to maintain the habits. As the longer you go, the easier it's going to get. It's going to be very hard at first, but as you go, it's going to be easier and easier, and eventually it becomes fun. But you just have to get over that hill. You right now, you're running up this hill. Right now, like whatever the fuck you're going to be doing to improve yourself and improve your dating life, it's going to be running up a hill. It's not going to be easy. But if you just stay consistent long enough, you'll get over the hill. And the first time getting over the hill will give you confidence to build new habits, to build new ways of being, which will further your improvement. Now, firstly, I want you guys to find something you can do with consistency every week. Maybe it's going to a venue once a day. Maybe it's going to the venue once a week. Maybe it's going twice a week. Maybe it's walking to your local mall with the intent of approaching women, whether you do it or not. This process is proven to yourself that you're a winner, that you're somebody who can change. And that belief will make it easier to change, to get better results. Now, maybe in a week or two, you find that whatever habit you set, you can't stay consistent on. Now, if that's the case, you need to make the habit more bite-sized. You need to make a smaller version of that habit. Again, something more than what you're doing before, but something that's manageable. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients where they want to eat the world. They come on to the coaching calls and they want to go and approach every fucking day. They've never done it before, but they want to approach every fucking day. Generally speaking, what happens is that person blows out within 2 weeks to a month and they never want to do it again. It's because it was too disjointed from their current self. You have to set a goal that is within your ability to do consistently. Otherwise, you won't do it. And the person that does this versus the person that tries again, eat the world, is going to be completely different tracks. The person that gave up immediately, he's going to be the exact same place versus the person that just decided, I'm going to make this improvement little by little. Little by little, I'm going to make this improvement. And then it builds exponentially. And this guy's in a completely fucking different place in 3 months. And quick tip too, if you want to maintain habits, never fall off a habit more than once. If you fall off it more than once, the habit's gone forever. You're not getting it back. I can't tell you how many times that I started working out and then I take a day off. I'm like, fuck it, it's all good. And I'm still building the habit. I still haven't ingrained the habit yet. And guess what? I tell myself I'm just taking the day off. Then I take the next day off and I tell myself at some future time, I'm going to pick this back up. I never do. Then it's another year, 2 years, 3 years. And then I'm like, fuck, I forgot to work out. All right, maybe I won't do it. This is why you cannot fall off the habits. Sacrifices might be needed. If you find that whatever you try to do, that there's just not enough time or you don't have enough energy, you might need to cut things out. Are you playing too many video games? Are you watching junk YouTube? Are you watching too much TV, movies? Are you watching too much porn. If this is the case, these are taken away from your overall flow or willpower or habits and your overall time. For me, I wanted to be a writer, which in my current place in life, that wasn't going to help me out. As much as I love it as a hobby, I couldn't do it. So what I did was I cut it out. I had to, so that I could put all that energy I was putting into writing into one singular focus, which was figuring this out. So just to reiterate, you're going to do your 1.0 version, 2.0 version. And then you're going to make an actionable plan, something you can do weekly. And then you want to stick to the habits. You want to do continual checkups, do daily journaling, and make sure that you're keeping up with this. Make sure that you're look for new avenues to improve. Look for new ways to get better. Look for ways to shave the seconds off the mile. Look for ways to get even fucking better. Because there is a way. There's a very logical way you could do it. We just have to manipulate your ego into getting on our side. All right, I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, leave in the comment section below. And with that being said, peace.